Paris, June 29, 2025. This isn't your usual busy tourist day. Today, the air is full of strong feelings about a protest. Hundreds of people are gathering at the Palais Royal, not to look at art, but to send a message to President Macron: stop France from getting more and more involved in Ukraine. They are very clear about what they want. No more military help, no more making things worse, no war for Ukraine. Banners loudly say, "We will not die for Ukraine." You can see this message everywhere, from printed signs to words written on cardboard. Slogans like "Frexit is another name for peace" and "The Patriots for Peace" are using national pride to push for France to stay out of other countries' problems. French flags are everywhere, showing that people are focused on what's best for their own country. The protest is led by Florian Philippot and Les Patriotes, a political party that strongly disagrees with international groups. For Philippot, this is part of a bigger plan to take France out of alliances that he says put its independence and peace at risk. This protest is more than just a one-time event. It's a warning from those who don't want to be pulled into a war. So, who is Florian Philippot? He's the person behind the idea of Frexit, demanding that France's future be decided in Paris, not in Brussels or Washington. The day before the rally, he said, "Peace means refusing to send even €1, one weapon, or one soldier to Ukraine." The protesters are angry at Macron, especially after he gave $2 billion in aid and talked about possibly sending French soldiers. Macron's ideas about sharing France's nuclear weapons with the European Union only made people more worried about losing their country's independence. For many, these aren't just disagreements about policies, they are threats to France's very existence. Philippot even praised Putin's call for peace talks, saying it was different from Macron's actions, which he sees as leading towards war. By changing the story, making Putin seem like a peacemaker and Macron seem like someone who wants war, Philippot is touching on deep worries people have. The message is, France must choose peace, not make things worse. The protesters' anger isn't just aimed at Macron, it's also aimed at NATO and the European Union. Philippot calls NATO a criminal organization, saying that its growth caused the war with Russia. Their solution: France must leave NATO, right now. The European Union, in their view, is not a group that keeps the peace. It's a group that is building up its military, pulling France into conflicts for America's interests. The EU's $150 billion defense fund is seen as proof. Europe is building an army, which is taking away countries' independence. Frexit is their answer. They believe that only by leaving can France get back its freedom and work for peace. They argue that France is tied to decisions made in Brussels and Washington, not in Paris. Their vision: an independent France, neutral and free, much like the old ideas of Charles de Gaulle. The Palais Royal protest is their stand against a group of powerful people who are pushing France towards war. This protest might be small, but it's just one part of a growing movement in France that is proud of its country and against war. The rise of far-right political groups and polls showing that 40% of people want less involvement in Ukraine show that public opinion is changing. The message, "France is doing too much," is being heard far beyond the Palais Royal. With European elections coming up, peace, independence, and Frexit are going to be big topics in political discussions. The protest shows a growing split. Should France rely on alliances for safety or seek independence for peace? As the war in Ukraine continues, this discussion will only get more intense. "We will not die for Ukraine" isn't just a slogan. It's a powerful call that is being heard across France. The future of French policy might depend on which of these ideas wins out.